Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today we got another marathon by Duncan, and thank you so much for getting back to me. So I wanted to say, sometimes when you leave your marathon details in the Buy Me a Coffee website, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I would suggest just sending me an email, because most of the times, unfortunately, it doesn't work. And we've already gotten in touch with Buy Me a Coffee and told them about this. And they also seem to hide, when there's a marathon available, they kind of like, you have to click like 3 times just to get to the marathon. It will say sold out, and then you click on it, and then you click on it again. So it's a whole odyssey to get, this thing to work, which is very counterproductive for the Buy Me a Coffee website, as well, because they obviously also, it's for their gain, when you guys sponsor a marathon, because it's through them, the whole process. So yeah, just wanting to let you guys know, when you guys purchase a marathon, shoot me an email with the information, and that was the safest bet for me to get the info. But again, I wanted to thank Duncan for this marathon. We're gonna listen to some really cool, like I would say pre-metal, like pretty much the godfathers of metal: Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, Black Sabbath, and one of his this band, it looks like Duncan knows these guys personally, the Pink Fairies. So yeah, a little bit of everything, harder, on the harder side of rock. So here's some information that he provided us with. Again, Duncan, thank you for sponsoring the video. I appreciate it. It says here, "Hi Nick, I sent it via Buy Me a Coffee link. Apparently it does not work." So yeah. But again, thank you for sending it by email. So it says, here's 4 tracks, some of which you may have heard. I don't think I've heard any of these, so that's going to be a first-time reaction. It says here, the first is the Pink Fairies, My Mates, and I used to drive miles to a pub just because they had this on the jukebox. That is amazing that you would literally... I used to do that as well. I would walk, I think, 1 or 2 miles from my house to this shopping mall, because it was just too expensive to spend on a bus. But they had like this arcade, that I loved, and I would go and walk 2 miles just to play this arcade until I didn't have any more money, and then I would walk back. So I guess you would do the same, but because the song was on the jukebox. That's awesome. It's the Pink Fairies with their 1971 single, The Snake. That's awesome. We're going to listen to The Snake. Then next is Uriah Heep, who were one of the first rock bands I saw live in 1974, just a few days before my 15th birthday. Wow, that's amazing. The track is July Morning from their 73 live album. That's so cool that you discovered. I guess, when I was 15, I discovered, I think Metallica or something, yeah, for the first time, or maybe even later. Maybe I was 16. I don't, around that, but yeah. Then next is the title track from our favorite Deep Purple album, from my favorite Deep Purple album, Fireball. It's 100 miles an hour from the air. Wait a minute. It's 100 miles an hour from the air conditioner unit start to the last note. Brilliant. So yeah, I've done some Fireball reactions, but this track I haven't done. And then the last track is my favorite from Black Sabbath 1972 Volume 4 album, Wheels of Confusion, a great track. I was so lucky to grow up in the 70s with all this brilliant music, and I saw most of the greats live, and my love for the greats music will last until my last breath. I believe you. I believe you. Yeah, you guys were definitely lucky with, with all these bands coming out at the same time. I honestly, I would have been completely overwhelmed with all this good stuff. Because I mean, there's in 1 year you get like 20 albums that will it will stand the test of time. And yeah, I don't know what I would have done. I guess I would have been cool with it, but now it's overwhelming to have all this music, and not know it. And then, but that's what we're doing every day. We're discovering new music. I just showed an amazing track to Alexia today that I've been listening to since I was like, I don't know, 17 years old. And I finally showed it to her for the first time. It was just like electricity was going through my body, and she liked it. It took a long time, for her to like this music. So, but now we're here. All right. So without further ado, let's go with the Pink Fairies, The Snake from Never Neverland. This is going to be fun. All right, here we go. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. If you like the channel, do what you like. You can subscribe, you can like it, you can comment, all that good stuff. All right, here we go. Wow, nice. Wow, what a fun track. This must be incredibly fun to play live. And it almost sounded like the bass had distortion, but I'm sure it wasn't. It just sounded like that. I love the like the fuzz on this, you know, and the crybaby with the you know that. And it must be so weird, I guess, even for you, you know, Duncan. And you're the one who's shown, you know, the most amount of love for this band, the Pink Fairies, out of from everyone that I know. You're this is, I think, the fourth reaction to the Pink Fairies in a marathon. So I obviously I know that you love this band, and but I know, you know, when you love something so much that you would go out of your way completely, and like you know, you would drive literally miles to just to listen to the song because it was only available, you know, at a certain spot. And I know exactly how that feels, you know, with the arcade. And now I can just go on the internet and, you know, download the ROM, download the emulator, and I can just play this game, you know. But back in the day, it was just the journey of taking, you know, of leaving your house and walking, and you were halfway there and you already, you know, fantasizing of you know, playing the game, listening to the song, you know. It's like it's the journey, you know, what is so amazing about, like, that is, I guess, you know, it's not the same anymore because everything is now accessible. Like for example, I remember with my parents when we used to go to the video store, you know, to rent a movie. Or Alexia, you know, I remember we would go to the video store in Puerto Vallarta and look at movies, what's on sale, or what is new, what are they renting, you know, because those things were not available on TV or Netflix or whatever, you know. You still had to buy them. And for the longest time, Alexa and I, we would go pretty much like DVD hunting, you know. And now we just go on Vudu and, you know, we buy the movie digitally. And it is not the same. I miss those days when we would go for a drive, and, you know, and we would call it like we're gonna make it a meal, because we would do all kinds of things. We would go to Best Buy, and we would go to Walmart, and then we would go to, you know, different shops, and just so we were making it like a meal, you know, because it was like this whole thing, this whole adventure, you know. And yeah, and we got a lot of movies. Okay, we have an amazing physical collection of movies, of Blu-rays, and then we were like, we were never gonna switch to 4K. We were like, no, that doesn't look this. It doesn't look. It takes all the grain out and stuff like that. And now, of course, we caved in, and now we're buying 4K. But yeah, I just know what you felt, you know, when you went for that drive to listen to that song. Something very special. All right, so let's check out now. Here, as you guys know, Uriah Heep was introduced by my mom to me. We had the best of Uriah Heep, and I remember the first time I heard The Wizard blew my mind because it was so heavy, and the guy, you know, his voice doing those falsettos, and it was, I think, Gypsy Queen, The Wizard, and there were a couple of tracks on there were really, really heavy. And I was like, wow, mom, you really like some heavy stuff, huh? Because she also introduced me to Led Zeppelin. So she's not a rocker or metalhead, but she just had a very good taste in music. So I don't even think she knew what genre it was. She just knew that it was good and that she liked it. And then she wanted to show it to me, you know, like Pink Floyd as well. So here we go with July Morning Live. This is a longer one, 11 minutes and 51 seconds. Here we go. Uriah Heep.
There's a song for the first side of Look at Yourself, and it's called July Morning.
A friend of mine just saw them with Judas Priest. Yes, wow.
There I was on a July morning. I was looking for love with the strength of a new day dawning and the beautiful sun at the sound of the first bird singing.
Those keyboards, man.
I was leaving for home with the storm and the night behind me, yeah. And a road of miles every day came a resolution. I'll be looking for you. La 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 la.
This is so good.
I was looking for love in the strangest places. Wasn't a stone that I left unturned. No. I must have tried more than 1,000 things, but not one was aware of the fire that burned. Yeah. My heart and my mind and my soul. La 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 la
Wow, just a second. I mean, the people that heard this for the first time, what were they thinking? What were their thoughts? Like, what is this? Like, I mean, of course, I'm sure they loved it because they had heard maybe something similar, maybe not as heavy. So, but it must have been just mind-boggling to listen to this like live. Yesterday, for example, was such a good experience. I've never really been a fan of Foreigner because I never knew them. You know, I never really knew of the name. But yesterday, I blew my mind because I knew so many songs, but to hear them, and I'm like, oh my god, I know this. I didn't know it was Foreigner, and like, wow. And then live is such an experience. I think when you hear a band live, that's when you become a fan for real, you know, I think. And I can only imagine these people listening to this, they must have been fans for life, you know. I mean, yes, the experience can go the other way around as well, you know, but I don't know. With something as good as this, I mean, the bass here is just ripping it apart, the keyboards, the singing, the falsettos, the guitar. It's just so, you know, there's so much innovation happening, and you know, it's just wonderful. So yeah, I can only imagine. So let's keep going. This is wonderful. And yeah, and I'm very happy that I did know this band since I was pretty much, yeah, I think like 13, 14 years old, you know, but I only a few songs, you know. So, and then the thing is, you know, I sometimes get comments like, if you know this band, why didn't you listen to it more? That's the thing, you know, with older music, especially, you know, like Alexia and I, we grew up in a different time, so we were listening to the rock that was coming out, you know, in our time, you know, and it's as a kid, it's always difficult to go back and say, oh, I'm just gonna listen to 70's music now. It's just like you really have to have someone in the family who is a freak, you know, a music freak, and that encourages you, like, you know, oh, you have to listen to this now. Like a bigger brother. My big brother, unfortunately, he listens to great music. He got me onto like some amazing stuff. He showed me Jimi Hendrix. He showed me Smashing Pumpkins. He showed me the soundtrack, the Flower Power, you know, like greatest hits, you know, and that I re-listened then in like the Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump has an amazing soundtrack, and there's a lot of key songs in that I so he has great taste, but he got into more into like the techno side of things, you know. He's the one that basically he influenced me to grab the guitar, and I grabbed it. I hated it. It was way too difficult, and I left it. But then again, when I saw him play, I was like, I would like to do that, you know. So I started to play, and then I got into all these musicians that influenced me. But you know, I was lucky, but I didn't have a bigger brother that was like constantly, you know, like, you have to listen to this, check this out. He was very like, this is my music, so if you like it, you can listen to it, but he wasn't encouraging me to, you know, to listen to it. So, yeah. All right, let's keep going.
There I was on a July morning. I was looking for love with the strength of a new day dawning. I got the beautiful sun and at the sound of the first bird singing, I was leaving for home, where the storm and the night behind me. Oh yeah, yeah, and a road of my own with the day in the resolution. I'll be looking for you.
great line, man. Sounds so epic. Wow. So good. Oh my lord. I mean, they literally had to fade out the applause, you know, like, man, that bang, that is such a cool line, man. That literally sounds out of like the Monsters or something, you know, like it's a dark theme, like something out of, I don't know if you've ever seen this, Castlevania, you know, it's a video game as well, you know. Yes, I play video games from time to time, and there's such great music. I mean, obviously back, you know, in the late 90s and 2000s, the music wasn't the best, you know. Once it was on a CD, they could import like real orchestra stuff, but before it was all like, you know, chip, you know, like you know, you guys know, like if you ever played Nintendo, you know, the music, it was like very 8-bit sounding, 16-bit, you know. And but they worked with what they had, you know, and like games like Castlevania, who are about a vampire hunter, and it was very classical, you know, influenced stuff, like they would take Bach and Paganini and, you know, Beethoven, and and Vivaldi and throw it all together and make like this really dark music, you know, because it's like, and so that's something that I could hear, you know, Uriah Heep or Metallica, they would grab Metallica, put it onto the Doom game, and you know, so I think video game music has always been fascinating, really, really cool, because the game can be kind of like get a little bit repetitive, and so you have to kind of come up with a cool theme, and that loops every 2 minutes, and that keeps you engaged. And that was kind of like, that was very clever you know, composing, because you had to keep, you only have 2 minutes, you know, for a song, so you have to come up with something very clever and very catchy that the gamer is immersed in the game, that's also very repetitive, but somehow it kind of like works, you know. So yeah, so you had to come up with cool themes, so like this, that sounds something they would come up with, you know, to keep you kind of like immersed and humming afterwards. Okay, Deep Purple is next, Fireball, from the Fireball album, and we just had the amazing pleasure to listen to Made in Japan. It's on Spotify if you want to join Spotify and check it out. We did almost like a 2-hour, I think, reaction to the full album. It's a little bit over 2 hours, I think. The video, let me check. We had a lot of fun. Such an amazing record, so much improvisation, great tracks, great opener. You know, for the first three, like just so the best of the best. And then I love, you know, all the other stuff that's on there is just so good. And I love how much they improvised on the album, how much they showed what they can do, you know. Made in Japan, an amazing album by Deep Purple. So how much time did we spend? Here it is. If I click on it, I don't know if it's gonna play. I think I can click on it, but it doesn't matter. I think it's about a little bit over 2 hours, but a lot of people had a lot of fun with it. They said they had to, for example, Richard had to do it in 2 sittings, you know, so it's long, yeah. Very, very cool. All right, so here we go with Fireball from Fireball 1971. Here we go.
I wonder where you're from, oh yeah, they wonder where I found you.
So good. Man, this band has like played quite a role in my life. On I didn't even know, but just stuff, that has to do with my dad that I've mentioned on the channel. But we when we were like around 16, 17 years old, we decided to make a band, and we could barely play, and but we were learning songs by Deep Purple without even knowing that they were Deep Purple. But I remember, and I don't know whose idea this was, but he's like, hey, we should play this song called Black Knight. And it's like it's pretty much like it is difficult when you're learning, but it's a pentatonic scale, it's a pentatonic shape, so it was kind of like doable, and the drummer could do like the so everybody had their level, but it was like not very high. All of us, the bassist we could barely pull it off, but we did, and we would play those songs, and people would walk in. It's like there's like these kids playing the 70s rock, and then we would like try and do Iron Maiden, and then before I even knew Smoke on the Water, which is obviously one of their most well-known hits, but yeah, this lineup here, I mean, Richie Blackmore, Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, John Lorden, and Ian Pace is just, I mean, that's what Made in Japan is. There's two songs, Strange Kind of Woman on here on the Mule, and then their next album, which was, I guess, one of their most successful ones. I mean, the Deep Purple and Rock has Child in Time, and then the next one, Machine Head, I mean, that one, I guess, put him on the map, Smoke on the Water, Lazy, Space Truck, and all those are on the Made in Japan as well. Pictures of Home, I think I know from Yngwie Malmsteen. He covered it on his Inspirations. And then, I mean, this lineup is just the most epic, I guess. And Made in Japan is next, yeah. And then Made in Europe. Oh, that's kind of cool. And that's where Ian is missing. David Coverdale took over here. And then, yeah, then during the 80s, I guess, there's so many lineups that it's like hard to keep up, But yeah. So yeah, we eventually learned Smoke on the Water, of course. And that was always, a banger with everyone, and there's a lot of, people from the US, in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico, and they would freak out that there's these kids playing these 70s hits, Okay, Black Sabbath, for example, Black Sabbath, we of course played Paranoid. And there was another one we used to play, and that was the hardest song to play because it was almost like proggy, and it had all these time signatures, and it was Iron Man, this dum dum da da dum ba da dum ba da dum bum bum ba da dum ba da dum ba da dum bum bum ba dum bum ba da 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 dum ba dum ba ba dum bum 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 ba da dum. Like, that was hard, for kids who were just learning how to play. But it was so much fun, and I'm sure it made us better, than kids that were playing, Green Day or stuff like that, All right, so here we go with Wheels of Confusion and The Straightener, Black Sabbath, Volume 4, 1972. Here we go. lord. It's so fascinating to read about all this stuff. Wow. Crazy, crazy, crazy good and crazy stuff that I'm reading. So I guess there's a lot of theories, but also a lot of, interviews here, like the recording process of Volume 4 and the composition. And it's pretty much, it was fueled by drugs, mostly cocaine abuse, and I guess that's what made them so much. That's what drive the music to get faster and heavier, and I mean they came up with a whole style, because other bands were then just playing faster because it sounds cool. They were maybe playing faster because they were high on drugs, who knows? But I mean, there's a lot of word here on Wikipedia that it was like, the band was struggling with a cocaine abuse addiction, and even like funny stuff, like, they watched The French Connection and were freaking out because they were going to get busted, and we just watched that movie, Alexa and I. It's a very good film, but it's just like, and then they were like, yeah, we have to stop doing this, but yeah, it makes sense, like with this Snowblind is the band's most obvious reference to cocaine and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and then it's just suddenly a style, this is heavy metal, even though there's a lot of resistance I see in the comment section. I don't know, I don't listen to heavy metal, but they've been listening to Black Sabbath their entire life, so you were listening to heavy metal all along. Maybe it wasn't called heavy metal then, but it became heavy metal, and it became a whole movement, a whole genre, a whole way of living. There's people that are so metal that when you walk into their house, you're like, wow, they're the real deal here, but yeah, some really cool stories. I mean, just about this album, but I mean, yes, this lineup here, Ozzy, Tony, Geezer, and Bill, they changed, music again, after the Beatles, but they definitely put, heavy metal on the map along with Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin, even though Led Zeppelin have always kind of like said, no, we're not metal. Yeah. Who are they kidding? And I would consider Uriah Heep amongst, those four bands, and among others, Iron Butterfly, but I mean, I guess they were a little bit different. But yeah, what a great marathon. Thank you so much, Duncan, for choosing these great tracks. So much to talk about. I wish I had more time, but I just don't want to go over, people always tell me your marathons are way too long. But again, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I always love hearing your stories. All of you guys, when you discovered this band, how they blew you away, and these bands when you were in your teens or even younger, so let me know what you think. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, all those good things. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.